welcome to the Wayliner. We all know what it's like when you're trying to attach a waistband to your garment, whether it's a skirt or shorts or a pair of trousers. In the example we're using today, I'm making a pair of shorts, but when you're trying to evenly distribute the excess of the waistband with the elastic, it's quite difficult. You need almost an extra pair of hands, and this is what we've got today, the Wayliner. This new tool is used with your overlock or your sewing machine. Your sewing machine just sits on the flatbed there, and the two rollers at the top and the two rollers at the bottom all work together a bit like a conveyor belt to easily attach your waistband to whichever garment you're making. So we're making an enclosed elastic casing waistband today, so I'm just going to show you how that goes on. So you slide it over the four rollers, the two silver ones at the bottom and the two blue ones at the top, and it's fully adjustable, so you can make it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller as you need to. And then once that's on, you take the elastic, so I've already butted the two ends together and sewn them together, and then the elastic pops over the top, and then as you can see it's pulled it in. So I'm going to take the little Allen key that comes with it, and I'm just going to loosen the bolt there and tighten up just a bit, and then you can see it's stretched the elastic out for you. Then I'm going to fold the top of the waistband over, because as I say it's an enclosed elastic waistband, and same on the other sides. If you tighten it too much too early, then it's difficult to fold the fabric over, so that's why I've only just tightened it kind of almost all the way, but there's still a little bit of a give there, as you can see. So then what I'm going to do is just undo the bolt again, take a good grasp of that and just fully extend it and tighten it up. So you can see the elastic now has been stretched to fit the waistband, and then you just position it where you need to, and you can see it rolls round on the rollers, like I say, just like a conveyor belt. So we'll take it over now to the machine. So this is the machine we're using today. It's a Juki DX7, and it just slides in onto the bed there. Now if you were doing this yourself at home, I'd probably already have the machine on before I put the waistband on, but for demonstration purposes it was a bit easier to see what I was doing without the machine there in the way as well. So I'm now just sliding the machine into place, making sure it's laying on the Wayliner correctly and safely, and then just getting into position so you can see what I'm doing now. So this is a 1-inch elastic inside a 3-inch piece of fabric that's been folded in half. So I've got a 1/2-inch seam allowance there on the side, which I'm now just closing up, and there we go. So you can see the machine is doing the work for you. So the feed dogs are pulling the waistband round on the rollers, both the top two and the bottom two. So I'm not pulling the fabric through, I'm not pushing the fabric through, it's doing it all for me. And then as you come round, the machine just pulls the waistband through for you nice and easily. There's no effort involved. You haven't got to worry about stretching the band as you're pulling it. It takes all of the kind of the trouble out of it. All I'm doing is making sure that my elastic is over on the right hand side up against the fold of the casing, as I then close the casing up. And now just coming around to the end, just going to stitch a few stitches back over my initial stitches just to lock it off. Little reverse and then a trim, and there we go. That's my elastic now fully encased inside the waistband. And as I say, you can use this for anything. We're showing you a waistband here today, but you could be using it for neck bands, you could be using it for cuffs, because you can adjust the rollers and the position of the rollers. You get a lot of flexibility. I'm now going to do just another row along my waistband. Obviously you haven't got to do this, but my personal preference is to do an extra couple of rows, and that's what it looks like when it's finished. So I've got the raw edge at the top there and the folded edge at the bottom, with a few rows of stitching holding the elastic in place. It made it so much easier not having to stretch everything out whilst you're trying to sew it as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back onto the Wayliner, and I haven't got to adjust anything because it's already set up at the size that the waistband was before the elastic was added, which is obviously also the size of my shorts, the top of my shorts. So I'm then going to slide my shorts over that as well. Just get myself set up, finding the side seam so that I can match it up with the side seam of my shorts. So there's the side seam of my shorts and the side seam of the waistband. I'm just going to lay the shorts now on top of the waistband, also over all 4 rollers, so including the 2 at the bottom as well. So now the waistband is being stretched out to fit the top of the trousers, and then I've just got to stitch it back on. There we go. And then when you flip it out, the waistband will be fully attached to the trousers. So I'm attaching it to the right side, obviously, of the shorts. There we go. And again, I haven't got to stretch it to fit because the Wayliner does it for me. And then again, back over my first few stitches, reverse, lock off and trim. And there we go. Now you can just use your overlocker to do that if you want to. I prefer to do it on my sewing machine and then finish with my overlocker, or you could use pinking shears or an overcasting stitch, whatever your preferred finish is for raw seams or raw edges. But I'm just showing you that you can do it all on the sewing machine as well as on the overlocker today. It works with either. And there we go. That's it finished. Gives a really good, clean, professional finish because all the gathers are evenly distributed. There's no mess or fuss with it. It makes life much easier, and as I say, it's really versatile, so you can use it with all sizes of bands, waistbands, neckbands, cuffs. You could use it with swimwear to make good swim bottoms, all sorts of things.